What's up, everybody? This is Robert Randolph, and you're listening to Swanky Southern Nights with Mackie and Bryn. Swanky Southern Nights, baby.
Bryn, we have the most amazing artist on the show. We've been listening to this guy's music for a long time,
Yes.
and love his innovative artistry and playing. He's so awesome, ladies and gentlemen. We have Robert Randolph
Yay.
on Swanky
What's
Southern
up?
Nights. How are you?
Swanky Southern Nights. What's up, baby? I'm doing
That's
good. How y'all
right.
feeling?
Doing
Oh,
great.
Y'all
so
doing
good.
all right?
Yes,
You,
yes,
You fit right into Swanky Southern Nights.
yeah. I'm telling you.
Well, listen, I got my first actual real tour was touring the South, so
Is that right?
we were, yeah, we had first started playing up in New York and New Jersey, playing clubs back in the day, and then some fans of ours were like, alumni of like all of the SEC schools,
Yeah,
and they had invited me to come down and do a tour of all of the
yeah.
SEC cities, and that was our whole first Southern tour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool. Yeah,
yeah.
we listening to your music, and it's such an interesting thing because we do our research and we love your artistry, and we know your background is very interesting because when you hear steel guitar, and from our perspective,
Yeah.
we're thinking but he must have listened to a lot of Buddy Emmons and a lot of these steel players through the years, but you've got your own trajectory, your own journey with steel guitar that's really interesting. So, am I correct? Did I hear that you actually didn't even realize that there was like, quote unquote secular sort of steel guitar out there, right? I mean, if for a long time, is that right?
Yeah, so for me and growing up in our church, that's all we knew, is playing steel guitar the way that we've heard it. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a 100-year-old tradition now, going all the way back to the 20s.
yeah.
And that was kind of the emergency yesterday because one of our like forefathers, he had died last week, and yesterday they had like a
Mm.
last minute sort of planning the funeral. His
Oh,
name was Calvin Cook.
hmm.
And so he was like one of my mentors and
Oh,
grew up with my grandparents and all of them. So,
yeah.
yeah, so he
Hmm.
was the sound that I grew up watching. And
Yeah.
not until I would say probably like the late 90s, because our church organization was in Nashville,
Hmm.
and we got a chance to we would then see some of the country pedal steel players then,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's kind of how that I kind of got sort of knowledgeable about all of the other different type of steel playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've got your own.
Amazing style.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
Oh,
kidding.
thank
Yeah.
you,
Yeah,
thank you,
and
thank you.
yeah, and it's just a wonderful thing. We love your music, and you've got obviously through the years you've had the family band and done your music, and it's been fabulous. And we're excited because we've heard "Big Women" new single from the upcoming project, which will be out at the end of June. June 27th,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's called
Yeah.
Preacher Kids, and
Yeah.
yeah, so obviously your background in the church now, it's kids though it's plural. So are some of the other folks involved in this? Are they similar background?
Yeah, well, ironically, yeah. I mean, it's kind of wild because yeah, they're all of our parents in the band, in the new band is from come from out of the church, but
Yeah,
the actual term preacher kids really came from just all of these sort of stories of talking to all of the different musicians that we see, and then watching all of the documentaries of like Al Green and
yes,
Sly Stone and Aretha Franklin and so many more,
yes,
Marvin Gaye,
yes,
and it's kind of like all of the stories and a lot of the cliches and uh, a lot of things that happen in our lives. It's all kind of similar stories. So it's kind
yeah,
of like,
yeah,
how do I put all of these sort of stories and messages into this kind of blues rock quasi soul kind of record,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And so we really wanted to kind of like get these songs that had all of these different uh kind of wild stories attached to them of people that I learned just from talking to so many different people, because a lot of it is always relative, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And it's kind of, and a lot of people sort of know. I mean, anybody that grew up in church, whether you North, South, Pentecostal,
Mm-hmm,
Baptist, whatever, it's
mm-hmm.
kind of all the same
Yeah,
journey. Whenever you like
yeah.
sort of venture out, you know,
Yes.
and it's kind of like, you know, if you grew up with in your hometown somewhere, in, I don't know, Oklahoma somewhere, and your grandma, and you told your grandma, "Hey, grandma, I'm moving to Nashville," and
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, why are you moving there with them center people?" You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of, you know, that's everybody's story. Whenever you're moving
Yes.
away from your traditional family,
Yeah.
and you're going to whether you're playing music or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, do
Yeah.
something else. So
Well, you've taken that rich heritage and really brought that into the music and the culture where you are right now, and that's just a beautiful thing. And you can feel it. You've got this legitimate, authentic soul to
Yes.
everything that you do. And I've got to ask you, this is interesting. So you mentioned Al Green. I grew up in Memphis, and you know, the Memphis music scene, huge, rich in heritage and music. You're with Sun Records, so that's which also has such a rich history in the music industry. Had you known much about the history of Sun Records, and what's it like? Is that a good experience for you? I mean, Sun
yeah,
Records.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that was one of the cool parts about really like joining this partnership with them. You know, I had known about Sun, and it's kind of wild because the story that I was telling you about, the people
Yeah.
that brought me down south to do the tour, they actually lived in Memphis
Oh yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And so we would go to the Sun Studios, and we
Yes.
would go kind of visit around around
Yeah.
Memphis and Stax and the museum and all of
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And just learning a lot about all of the different artists. And then because Sun was like this place to where, you know, everybody from James Brown and all these people would stop in and like go there and record, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
they actually have like this vault of unreleased music, all of these different duets and
Yeah.
things. And so just their
Cool.
history of really transitioning from blues to rock, you know,
Yeah.
those early years of,
Yes.
you know, everything from Elvis, Johnny Cash, and all of that. Everything was sort of going over from like roots blues to sort of roots rock, and
Yes.
a lot of that. So,
Yes.
you know, and joining this partnership with their rebranding, that's kind of what I was really excited about.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's sort of a really cool thing to have that heritage, but to be moving into new territory and bringing in some great innovative artists like yourself.
Yeah.
So that's just really
Yeah,
really cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, man.
Yeah, did
Yeah.
you? I'm just curious. Did you get a chance to? And you may have been there since, but did you get a chance to go to Willie Mitchell's studio where Al Green recorded all the stuff that he
Yes.
did?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Yeah.
Act- Actually, while we were recording this record, we did some sessions there
Oh, really?
at Royal Studios. Yep,
Yes, yeah,
with Boo
with Boo
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, we did a
It's
lot,
awesome.
which kind of wild because this record really has like part one, part two, part three, right?
Yes,
Because
yes.
we recorded a lot, and there's some great stuff that we actually recorded at. Yeah, we spent the week there at
Really?
Royal
Oh,
Studios.
that's so cool.
Yes.
See, I just
Yeah.
fumbled my way into that question. I just was curious if you did. That is so awesome. I love that.
Yes.
That's so wild, man. Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, so we're looking
Yeah.
forward to hearing the whole project, and it's going to be out June 27th, and Big Women. So that's a fun song.
Yeah, we're playing it tonight.
Yep, we're
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
it tonight. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, that was actually the second song that we recorded, and it was wild because it started out just as this jam,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it's
and
got a great lick and groove with it. Yeah, all the way through.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and we started out as this jam, and then we were at the studio in LA recording that. And the people, you know, because we had already did like two songs, so we broke for lunch and we came back, and the receptionist at the studio was like, "Hey, the people upstairs want you to take the bass rig out of the hallway and And he's like, well, who the hell is that? Who the hell's making that? She's like, oh, it's Robbie Robertson and T-Bone Burnett. They're upstairs complaining it's too loud. So I was like, oh, Robbie's up there. I was like, let me text him and tell him to come downstairs.
Yeah.
So he comes down. Robbie Robinson comes
Yeah.
down, and he's just like, man, it sounds like you guys are getting down. You guys are jamming down here. I was like, man, listen to these first two things we got. And he actually heard those two,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And then maybe 7, 8 months later, he died. So
Yeah.
it was a pleasure to have him. And it's funny because there's this picture of him. We have it like him, like just sitting at the recording console and just listening to the riff of Big Women. He's like, wow, this is really going to be something. I can't wait to hear it finished.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You had his blessing on that too. That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, man, to have a legend like that, you know, it was really cool.
Yeah. So, so you've been, so this album was recorded, Shooter Jennings was, he produced this?
Yes, yes, Shooter Jennings, who I had reached out to because I had heard the record he did with Yellow Wolf, and I really liked the sound of it and sort of like this sort of alternative rock sort of direction. And so we talked about it and we got together. He was just like, hey, come out to LA. And he's like, hey, you know, let's just make something that's real and moves and have the whole record really be something that's cohesive and loud and got the guitars rocking and great songs. So
Yeah.
he was great. He was great to work with. It was such a pleasure.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah. I bet he says the same thing about you.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah, he's wonderful. And actually, we wound up recording a track called "I Like to Love You, Baby," which
the
his
Waylon
dad,
song. Yeah.
yeah. So we recorded that on this album. We did our own take on it. Yeah,
Can't
that's
wait
funny
to hear
you know
that.
about that.
Oh yeah, I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can play everything, and like we said, you put your own spin on everything, your own unique spin on everything.
Soul into all of it.
Yes, it's so good. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing that. And you're going to be playing in Nashville coming up soon as well. And yeah, gonna. So people need to find you and find out exactly where you're going to be and when you're going to be there. And we're going to tell the folks about it tonight on the show. But the best way to find you online, robertrandolph.com. Is that right?
Yep, robertrandolph.net.
.net. Okay.
Maybe it's switched to .com. I don't even know. I'm
No,
not
it's
even sure.
.net. You're right.
Okay, robertrandolph.net
Yeah.
or Facebook Robert Randolph or Instagram Robert Randolph, you know, or TikTok, any one of those. Yeah, check us out and, you know, come see us on the road. You know, we're going to be really excited to play these great songs from off this album. I think it's probably my best album yet, if you ask me.
Awesome.
Good.
Well, and there's so much energy in your shows and just feeling into your shows that people need to definitely go out and go see you live and definitely pick up this Preacher Kids album. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
for
Robert.
being on the show.
Thanks for having me. Swanky Southern Night.
There
That's
you go.
right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.